Hello everyone, welcome back to the Velocity channel where this is your bridge to financial freedom. Listen, today we have a very special episode for you. I know what you just saw with what's his name, and I would love to share with you another option that is going to free you more than you have learned before, okay? But before we get into that, I want you to like, share, and subscribe so that everyone around the world can know the power of velocity banking. Listen, I don't know about you, but boy, do I love options. I don't like to get pigeonholed. I don't like to get cornered right into only one option. I love options, and we're going to show you some of the options that you have when you have racked up all of that debt because you love your kids, you love this one, you love that one. And listen, we want to show you by the numbers which way would be better for you and how to pay off all your debt very quickly. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Right here, we do have the credit cards. All right, folks, I want you to know right now that this is a non-judgmental channel, all right? Just call me the Planet Fitness of Finance, all right? There's no judgment here. I'm not being critical at all. I don't care if you max out all of your cards, because at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do, all right? Now, $5,000 at 20%. We got $5,000 at 18%, $5,000 at 30%, $5,000 at 21%, and $5,000 at 17%. Now you can see that we have different interest rates, right? Now, what we haven't done before is shared with you the interest cost or the interest dollars. What does that interest rate equate to in dollars? All right, let's go ahead and share with you that at 20% there's 84, at 18% $75, $125, $88, and $71. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring that out is to share with you how illusory or deceiving numbers can be. Let me just share this quick tip right here, all right? 10 cents, we were taught, is less than $2. Yes or yes? All right? Yes. Unless, oh, CJ, what are you talking about? Unless, 10 cents is less than $2. Believe me, I know. All right? Unless it's 1936, right, on the 10 cent column, and it's 2024 on the $2 side, right? In that case, watch this, they're actually equal. Now, why did I bring that out? Because when I share with you that the interest rate is not something that we should be focused on, I'm not saying that it's not important, but it's not as important as time and balance. What we want to focus on, folks, is time and balance. That way, we'll be able to make sure that our dollar is doing what it should, and that is paying down the principal, canceling out the interest, and this is your favorite part, interest savings, right? Saving you on interest, right? We want the interest side of that minimum monthly payment to be less and less, and we want the principal side to be more and more. Let's go ahead and share with you how that's done. So we're going to show with you how to pay off all of that debt in very little time. It's not going to take until May. It's not going to take until June. Listen, I want you to pay off your debt very fast. And of course, it all depends on what your numbers are. But the thing I like about velocity banking is you can actually go ahead and put your numbers inside of the framework, and it'll work the same way. So what, it takes you 6 months. So what, it takes you 7 months, 8 months. Listen, you're dealing with $20,000, $50,000, $60,000 worth of debt. That's not bad in paying off all that debt in 6 months. Okay, folks? So let's go ahead and continue here as to why we want the debt paid off as fast as possible. because we've got to capture the cash flow that is being drained of these debts, all right? No need to be concerned as to how you're going to do it. We're going to show you how to do it right now. Now, you've heard a lot about a consolidation loan. Perhaps you even just saw an ad about a consolidation loan and how good they are. Well, listen, I'm not taking anything away from that. The consolidation loan for some people is a good thing. However, there is a flaw in it, and that is you cannot use the money once you pay it. So instead of a consolidation loan, may I introduce to you a consolidation line instead, all right? So let's go ahead and just scribble through here and write line instead. You're going to be consolidating these credit cards onto maybe a line of credit, maybe it's a business line of credit, maybe it's a personal line of credit, or it's a balance transfer card, all right? So now all of these interest rates, right? The 20%, the 18%, the 30%, or the 21%, the 17%, now goes to 0%. My goodness, you guys, that's amazing. Let's just say it's at for 21 months, okay? For 21 months. Now, of course, the downside is you've got $25,000, and how are you going to pay it? Oh man, I am so glad you asked that. Let's go ahead and share with you some of the national average of income and expenses, and let's see if this is something that fits for you. National average, $5,000 each month as the income, minus the $3,000 in expenses, will leave you with $2,000. Now, what are you going to do with that $2,000? That is the question. And may I suggest, may I just submit this for your consideration, that you use that $2,000 that's just sitting there, by the way, kind of like the money in some IRA or savings account. It's sitting there. And every time you have sitting money, what do you have? Devalued money, okay? It's losing value as it continues to do nothing, much like animal, much like you and me, much like almost anything on the earth. If it sits there, does nothing, it gathers dust, it starts decaying quicker. Now, let's do this. 25,000 divided by that $2,000, okay? Now remember, if these numbers are too low for you, you can always stick your numbers in the denominator portion of this fraction. Now, 25,000 divided by 2. You say, CJ, how am I supposed to do that? Well, this is what I do. I go ahead and cross out the zeros here, right? And then I do not long division, but just plain division. Is it all right if I show you a little bit of that? All right. 2. Then we divide it by 25. At least this is how I was taught growing up, all right? I don't know what they got now. 1 times 2. All right. That's 0. And then 5. 2. Okay, so that's 2. And I want to say that's 12.5, all right? So 12.5, that's how many months you'll be paying that $25,000 off. Now, you may say, but CJ, what if I don't want to use my line of credit as a checking account, right? What if I don't want to use that? That's okay. Perhaps you can still leave the $2,000 in there, because when you have the $2,000 and it's parked right there each and every month, what is happening? That's right, it's getting paid down. But what are you gaining from that $2,000 being in there? That's right, your minimum monthly payment was like, what, $600, $700? But what's your minimum monthly payment now when you use this method? What is it? Zero. That's right. That means the $600 and the $700 a month you now control instead of the banks. Now, let's go back to our example of maxed out cards everywhere, right? 5,000, 5,000, all the way to the fifth 5,000. You have the 20%, the 18%, all the way down to the 17. You have these different interest rates. You've traded them in, and now you're at 0%. Suppose you were taught that you are to take the highest interest rate first, okay? So you take the highest interest rate and you start paying that off, all right? Let's do that. You know, I forgot to tell you something, and that's this. $5,000 at 30%. What is your minimum monthly payment? If you're in a situation where you do not want to do the consolidation line, but you want to start paying them in a strategic manner, remember this, that the credit card companies make money off of you in three ways. They make money off you in the interest rate. They make money off of you on the minimum monthly payment. And they make money off of you in the statement and due date. Now, when I say statement and due date, what date are you focused on? The due date. That's right. That way, the banks can get more interest when you're really supposed to be paying on the statement date. Now, what about the minimum monthly payment? Okay. Your minimum monthly payment, let's just say it was $120. But of that $120, $115 is going towards interest. Is that something that you would still want to pay the $120 on, or would you want to go over? All right. And I'm telling you, these things are real, right? You will mess around and pay $4 towards the principal, not knowing that, yes, you paid the $120, but that $115, $110 went to interest. Okay, this is something that you especially need to be careful for, be mindful of when you are dealing with the higher or more risky rates. All right, so just make sure that if you want to go ahead and do that method of the cash flow indicator, remember, the cash flow indicator will not trump the common sense indicator, all right? We do not want to pay just interest towards these lines of credit, okay? Even to the loan side as well. You want to make sure you know how it's divided up. Where's the principal? Where's the interest? Don't worry, the banks have to tell you, okay? And you will be able to make the decision of, okay, well, I actually want to pay over this month or not. Does that make sense? All right. So as you're continuing to do velocity banking, 0% for the 21 months, how many months does it take to pay that off? Let's just say you had an off month or maybe a couple off months and you're at the 15 months. This is exciting. About how much did you really spend? Did you really spend $25,000? If there's 0% interest and you are actually using your line of credit, your credit card as a checking account, or even if you're not, because remember, you're paying it off before the 21st month. Does that make sense? So this is at 0. So no matter how many fees you've amassed by using the balance transfer card, because different companies have different fees and different things like that. Some have 0, some do not have 0, all right? Even with the fees, how much money came out of your pocket? If there's 0% for 21 months and you get it paid off in 15 or 16 months. Maybe $100, maybe $300. $500? What if it's $1,000? $5,000? Is it anywhere near $25,000? You see what I mean? When you're doing velocity banking, you always make sure that your money is doing three things: paying off the principal really fast, canceling the interest, and saving you in interest. You also want to make sure when you are in a situation such as this, that you are consolidating your lines with good balance transfer cards or good business lines of credit, personal lines of credit, even home equity lines of credit, all right? You also want to make sure you have a strategic allocation method, as well as managing that cash flow like we did right here, all right? Don't worry about the debts anymore, folks. Remember, the money is here for you, all right? Money was not here for you to be afraid of it. Money is not here. The credit cards are not here for you to just cut it up, because credit cards can be used as leverage, all right? They even have some with rewards on them. You can be rewards for being wise, right? You can be rewarded for being a velocity banker. So let me go ahead and move out of the way here so that you see what is possible with velocity banking. Let's say that you don't have a card for 0%, but you got a card for maybe 10%. Is it still feasible for you, right? Because when you're using it the wise way, you're not going to be paying the $25,000. Why? We're talking about unsecured cards. Now, what does unsecured means? Someone gave the money or the credit to you. Yeah. And so we just want to have you win. All right, folks, if you have any questions on this, don't hesitate. Let me know. Man, we got a website now, thevelocitychannel.com. Make sure that you are on it. cjwallacecoach.com as well. And we want you to win. That's why we're sharing this with you. All right, folks? It doesn't matter about the interest rate. What does matter is the time and the balance. I know you guys had a great Christmas. I want you to have the most happy New Year ever so far. God bless you. And you take care. We'll see you in another video.